Do you think that this Afghan stuff is going to be partisan with the Democrats in charge?
It will be partisan, but the four chairmen you're talking about there are among the more normal Democrats, if I could put it that way. It's not going to be, I hope, not similar to the Brett Kavanaugh extravaganza that went on. That was just a disgrace. Thank God it's not Adam Schiff, that he's not involved, or Benny Thompson, the Homeland Security Committee. They'd be much more partisan. But what is important here is I hope the chairman themselves, Jack Reed also, he's a West Point graduate, he's a pretty dedicated guy, that they have some leverage here, or they have some leeway in which way the committees are going to go. It could well be that Chuck Schumer is going to control the Democratic hearings or the Senate hearings, and Nancy Pelosi the House hearings, and they can do that with pressure. They can just sort of put their foot down and put limitations on how long the hearings are going to go, how many witnesses can be called. Now, generally, the majority party calls two of the three witnesses, or three of the four witnesses, depending on how many panels you have. So you can stack the investigation in a way that it can cover up what's happening. And then in that case, it's really up to the Republicans to do their work. And in the time available to them with their questioning, that they really ask tough questions. And it's not just enough to ask questions that day, like if Blinkley's out there or Secretary Austin, they can filibuster, and they can, during a 3-minute or 5-minute question and answer session, they can run out the clock. So it's important to have research done beforehand, have sources in the Defense Department, in the State Department, people who know what's going on in the White House, and find out what Joe Biden knew, when he knew it. Did he ever approach this with an open mind? Or did he just come in and tell his people, I want us out of Afghanistan no matter what? Did he ever consider, for instance, maintaining a small base of operations out of Afghanistan? Did he ever consider extending the time? And instead, it appears as if he put pressure on the Afghans to move more quickly and to put a more rosy picture on it that was really happening. So a lot's going to depend on the Republicans and the minority. I think Menendez and Reed will be reasonably fair in the Senate. Greg Meeks, I know him fairly well. They're going to be under pressure. And also Adam Smith, of the four of them, is probably the guy who would be considered most pro-military, if you will, or pro-strong national defense. But it's going to be tough.
I can't imagine the Democrats throwing Biden under the bus, trying to hurt Biden. I just can't imagine it. So even the witnesses that are going to be called, are you telling me that only the Democrats have the power to name the witnesses they want, or do the Republicans, they can call one? Is that what you said?
Generally, the way it's done is if there's going to be four, it depends on how many panels, how many series of witnesses, but usually 1/3 or 1/4 of the witnesses can be called by the minority party. I think what the Democrats are going to try to do is obfuscate and create this equivalence between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, and they're also going to go back probably to George W. Bush, and they're going to try and make this one big confusing situation. And yeah, Joe Biden wasn't perfect, but he made the best of a bad situation. I think that's what they're going to try and say. Not give an outright defense. They're going to say, but the poor guy, he made the best of a terrible situation that he was left.
Now, if you lie before the committees, that's a felony, correct?
Yes, it is, yeah.
All right. So, but you don't have to answer a yes or no question, even if the Republicans do research and do have facts. You can ask a question to, I don't know, Blinken or whoever is there, and Blinken doesn't really have to answer it. It's not like me interviewing you. If you don't answer, I can come in and, browbeat you on the air. They can't do that, right?
Well, they can try, but then their 5 minutes will run out, and then the time will go over to a Democrat who will try to rehabilitate Blinken. So now, generally, a clever witness can run out the clock, and if he doesn't want to give an honest answer, but not necessarily give a dishonest answer, he can put out a confusing message, and he can delay it, use a lot of big words, and then they say, time's expired.